The man was driving home when suddenly a beautiful woman dashed out at the intersection. He slammed the brakes and instinctively glanced at her, and that one glance completely froze him. The woman was none other than Seun's ex-wife who had mysteriously disappeared a year ago. As Sha snapped out of her shock and recognized the man in the car, she chose to run away again, darting into a narrow alley in panic. Shun, overwhelmed, quickly ran after her. She had to know why Sha had left without a word back then, but by the time she reached a fork in the alley, Sha had vanished. Devastated, Seun wandered into a bar, drowning her sorrow in alcohol. The wound from Sha's sudden disappearance still cut deep, and she couldn't forget the beautiful memories they once shared. A year ago, Seun had gone on a trip to clear her mind and happened to meet her perfect match, a cheerful, free-spirited tour guide named Sha. Whether it was fate or the universe's plan, just sitting together made the air thick with tension and sweetness. Shauna's vibrant and carefree personality made Seun's heart flutter uncontrollably. That evening at a beach party, Seun purposely won a game to catch Sha's attention, and Shauna was clearly doing the same. During a group game that required a male-female pair, Seun took Sha's hand without hesitation, and together they won. Their bond grew quickly. When Seun didn't know how to drive the camper, Shauna personally taught her. In return, Seun became her surfing coach. As time passed, they didn't even realize they had become irreplaceable parts of each other's lives. One day, while drying Shauna's wet hair as usual, Seun's fingers accidentally touched her lips. As she hurried to pull away, Sha gently held her hand and savored the moment again. The chemistry between them exploded, and they began kissing each other passionately. That night, they confirmed their relationship as lovers. Their love only grew stronger from there. When it rained, they played and laughed in the downpour. It was their first time not feeling sad about not having an umbrella. In fact, it made them even happier. Eventually, they held a simple private wedding with only themselves as witnesses. They exchanged rings with vows to never take them off until death. After 2 months of blissful life together, Sune had to leave for work. At their farewell, she repeatedly reminded Shauna to save her number and promised to meet on the last Saturday of the month at Cheonggyo. She handed Sha the camera that had captured all their memories and reluctantly left for the airport. But from that day on, Sha vanished completely. Seun returned to find her but failed. It was as if Sha had evaporated from the world. Clinging to hope, Seun continued to wait at their agreed spot, Cheonggyo Cheon, from blooming spring to snowy winter, longing for her day and night. But the only thing she ever received was a short breakup recording. Those few seconds Seun listened to countless times. Every time she got drunk, she'd rush to the police, claiming Sha had stolen her camera, hoping the police might help her find her again. The officers had memorized her complaint, indicating how many times she had come, but reports required identification. And each time they asked for Sha's ID number, Zoon couldn't answer. She only knew her name, nothing else. Even after living together for 2 months, no one had seen such deep devotion in a man before. Hoping to see the wife who left without a word a year ago, Seun waited every day at Chungo-chun. From the rebirth of spring to the chill of winter, she never saw the one her heart cried for. She ended up in a bar once again, drunk and unconscious like always. But this time, out of nowhere, Sha appeared beside her. Looking at Seun, who had hit rock bottom, Shauna noticed she still wore the wedding ring they had sworn never to remove. Overcome with guilt and regret, Sha silently wished Seon would forget her or even hate her. It would make things easier because she knew better than anyone the sting of betrayal. A year ago, Sha had secretly gone to Seoul to surprise her boyfriend, only to find him with another woman. Shattered by the truth he had hidden for so long, Sha couldn't bear it. Hurt and lost in a new city, she dragged her luggage through the streets, aimless. When her phone rang, she felt a flicker of hope, but it turned out to be just an ad call. Breaking down, she threw the phone into a trash bin. Her bad luck didn't end there. Even a job she was about to start rejected her. With no hope left, she boarded a random bus without even checking the destination. After what seemed like forever, she got off at the final stop, a place that would mark the start of her new life. And there she met Seun again, the kind-hearted, pure young man who loved her deeply. Sha had once wanted to tell him the truth about herself, but she feared he wouldn't accept it. His response made her choose to walk away again. To avoid repeating the same mistakes, she had no choice but to leave. That was the reason behind her sudden disappearance. But now, seeing Seun awake and realizing it was really her, Shauna didn't leave. And Seun, staring at the wife she had dreamed of for a year, thought she was hallucinating. But deep down, she wished it was real. Yet no matter what, she could no longer hold back the longing that had built up for so long, because she still had so many things she wanted to say. She had so much she wanted to say to Sha. Why must two people who love each other hurt one another like this? In the end, it was all because they didn't trust each other enough. Ever since the day Shauna met Seun again, she decided she had to return the camera to her, but didn't know how to do it. That night, she unconsciously wandered to Chongcheon only to find that Seun was still waiting there. Sha quickly turned to avoid being seen, unaware that Seun had already spotted her. As Seun approached, Sha ran again, but how could Seuna, who had waited so long, let this chance slip? She chased after her with everything she had, tackled Sha, and held her tightly in her arms. This time, there was no escape. Just then, patrolling police happened to pass by, and learning that Sun had caught the supposed camera thief, they arrested Shauna and brought both of them to the station. When Shauna took out her ID to register, Seun suddenly snatched it from her hands. She desperately wanted to know her real address, but the moment she looked at the ID, her entire world collapsed. The name on the card wasn't Yoon Sha. It was someone completely unfamiliar. Lee Yun-woo. Seun couldn't believe it. She wished it were a lie. Resident registration. Is this really you? What's going on? Tell me, what is all this? From beginning to end, have you just been lying to me? She shouted. I just wanted to find Yoon Sha. I really wanted to find her, but after calming down for a moment, Seun realized how foolish she had been, giving her whole heart to someone who wasn't even real. What could be more ridiculous than this? Crushed and numb, Seun stormed out of the station, leaving Yoon-woo behind, consumed by sorrow. Even when his ex-wife, who had disappeared for a year, appeared before him, Seun couldn't bear to look at her. But when she fell down, he couldn't help but rush out of the car to check on her. Yoon-woo had actually planned to return the camera and say a final goodbye to Seun. That's why she came. Once Seun realized this, she exploded in anger and smashed the camera that held their precious memories. Though hurt by Yoon-woo's lies, what Seun wanted most at that moment was a simple, "I'm sorry," or better yet, just a hug like before, one that could wipe away all misunderstandings. But Yoon-woo didn't react like the old Shauna would have, and that broke Seun's heart even more. In a fit of rage, she took off the wedding ring they had sworn never to remove and hurled it into Cheongya-cheon, the place they had promised to meet. Now, that place meant nothing. Sun drove off without looking back, and Yoon-woo stood there drowning in tears of regret. She wanted to chase after her, to explain everything, but when she stood in front of Seun again, the words just wouldn't come. Ever since that night, Seun had vowed never to see Yoon-woo again. She thought time would wash everything away, but the memories only grew sharper. Every day, moments of joy with Yoon-woo filled her thoughts. She couldn't suppress them. One day, while working in her office, Seun stumbled upon Yoon-woo's business card. Unsure if it was the same person, she called the number out of curiosity. The voice on the other end was unmistakably Yoon-woo's. But then came a man's voice, and Sun, shaken and confused, hung up. She assumed Yoon-woo had moved on to a new relationship and couldn't accept it. Then, suddenly, her cousin invited her to a dinner party at Yoon-woo's home. Turns out, Yoon-woo's best friend was dating her cousin. From her cousin, Seuna learned that the man at Yoon's place was actually her childhood friend, and they were merely business partners. Secretly relieved, Seun also heard about Yoon-woo's painful past and finally understood everything. Yoon-woo didn't leave because of her, but because she feared Seun had fallen for the lively Yoon Sha, not the quiet, real Lee Yoon-woo. After what felt like forever, the dinner day arrived. Seun dressed up carefully, heart racing at the thought of seeing Yoon-woo again. She fixed her hair, trying to calm herself. Although desperate to reunite, she decided to approach Yoon-woo as a stranger this time, starting anew. But when the two wouldn't let go of each other's hands, her cousin awkwardly stepped in to separate them. Noticing Seun's missing ring, her cousin asked about it. Seun replied she had thrown it away because everything about her love was fake. It was clearly said to provoke Yoon-woo. Unsurprisingly, the dinner was tense and filled with subtle jabs. Seun nearly slipped up while talking, but quickly recovered before anyone could figure out their true relationship. The others kindly tried to comfort her, saying she'd find someone better. Trying to lighten the mood, they turned to Yoon-woo and teased about his supposed relationship, even pointing out the necklace holding the matching ring. When they asked to see it, Yoon-woo refused firmly and walked out without a word, leaving everyone stunned except Seun, who understood the real reason behind his reaction. Drunk and dragging her suitcase through the streets, Yoon-woo wandered aimlessly, eventually boarding a random bus, not even caring where it went. Full of regret, she couldn't believe she had once again abandoned the man she loved. Earlier, Seun had actually found Yoon-woo hiding and had gone to reconcile. She didn't want the distance between them to grow. Their problems, their misunderstandings, these were things a couple could resolve with a few soft words, a chance to lower their pride. But Yoon-woo's cold indifference ruined it all. She had wondered what if she had just told the truth back then. Maybe their ending would have been different. As tears of regret rolled down her cheeks, Yoon-woo fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, she awoke in a completely unfamiliar place, and outside the door was Seun. Yoon-woo was confused. She clearly remembered being on a bus the night before. How did she end up here after one night of sleep at Seun's home? Now, the truth was that last night, Yoon-woo still couldn't let go of her longing for Seun, and with the courage that came from being drunk, she sent him a string of messages pouring out all her grievances and love from the past year. On the other side, Seun was puzzled when she suddenly received texts from an unfamiliar number. So, She called back with curiosity. To her surprise, a man answered. It was the bus driver. Yunwoo had passed out drunk and was now fast asleep on the bus. After talking to the driver, Seuni suddenly had a hunch. She pulled out the business card she had found earlier and compared it to the phone number. Realizing it was indeed Yunwoo's, she rushed out and soon arrived at the bus stop, managing to bring Yunwoo home safely. The next morning, Seunli prepared a nutritious breakfast. She felt touched knowing Yunwoo hadn't forgotten her number and had even saved it in her phone with 3 heart emojis. She wanted to have a good conversation with her, but as soon as she started speaking, her words turned into questions and complaints. Yunwoo, unwilling to back down, quickly fought back. What could have been a heart-to-heart talk turned once again into a battle of stubborn mouths. Finally, Yunwoo couldn't hold it in anymore and burst out, "You only love the fake me. From beginning to end, you only fell in love with someone who wasn't real. But I'm not Lu Xiang." The two once again parted unhappily, even though their hearts still ached with love for one another. Yet, the wall between them kept them apart. After Yunwoo left, Seun sluggishly prepared to go to work. But seeing the sudden rain, she grabbed an umbrella and ran after her. Luckily, she found Yunwoo under a roof and offered to take her home, but Yunwoo refused and acted cold again. Suna, feeling annoyed, dragged her into the car. Once Yunwoo got in, Seun sprawled across the seat, joking that she never drives in the rain. Yunwoo, unimpressed, tried to get out, but Seun quickly pulled her back, saying she wouldn't let her go so easily after finally tricking her into the car. For reasons she couldn't explain, even if she wanted to dislike Yunwoo, she just couldn't. The two sat quietly in the car listening to music, gazing at each other with no words needed, just the silence of peace. After the rain stopped, Seun drove Yunwoo home. Coincidentally, their friends saw them arriving together and assumed they were dating again. Seun quickly explained they were only together because of work, and Yunwoo nervously backed her up, thanking her for the ride and wishing her a safe journey home. Just then, Yunwoo's best friend invited Seun to stay for dinner, catching both of them off guard. One didn't want him to eat, while the other insisted. Anna stared at the suitcase Yunwoo had forgotten at her place and had a bold idea. She used returning the suitcase as an excuse to drive to her ex-wife's house. And when parking, she deliberately broke her rearview mirror. Her plan was simple: use car repairs as an excuse to visit every day. Thinking herself clever, she called Yunwoo, not knowing Yunwoo had been watching her silly act from behind the whole time. Seeing such childish behavior in a grown man, Yun was both furious and speechless. She couldn't believe she had never noticed how shameless he could be before. Fuming, she decided to give him a taste of his own medicine and kicked the car hard, but her kick accidentally snapped the necklace holding the couple rings and the ring rolled to Seun's feet. Picking it up, she was completely stunned. It was her own wedding ring, the one she had personally thrown into Cheongyachunan. It turned out after tossing it, Yunwoo had braved the freezing river, searching all night until she found it. Just as Yunwoo realized what was happening, the second ring slipped from her clothes and fell to the ground. Panicking, she stomped on it to hide it from Seun. But when confronted, Yunwoo refused to admit anything. Desperate for answers, Seun lifted her off the ground and rushed to pick up the ring, confirming it was the very same ring she had once put on Yunwoo's finger. Her emotions overwhelmed her. She now knew Yunwoo still loved her. Desperately, she asked for confirmation, but Yunwoo stayed silent. Yet, seeing how serious and sincere Seun was, she knew that if she didn't speak now, there would be no turning back. Looking into the eyes of the man who loved her so deeply, Yunwoo finally decided to stop hiding her feelings and bravely reached for her own happiness. Actions speak louder than words, and in that moment, all walls between them crumbled. They reunited, and Seun finally placed the necklace she had waited so long to give around Yunwoo's neck. After they parted ways the first time, Seun had returned to Seoul and bought the necklace, intending to give it to her when they reunited. But it had taken a whole year. Thankfully, fate hadn't let them down. As long as the one wearing it was Yunwoo, that was all that mattered. Yunwoo, Yunwoo, Yunwoo. Good, good, good. Under the swirling snowflakes, the two held hands and walked toward their future together. Love may be late, but it never fails to arrive. To those watching the story, may you never leave behind regrets in your